Well, no, it's not that, Your Honor. It's the fact that I'm a secure party creditor with the Secretary of State, and my policy's been tampered with. And unfortunately, right now, I filed criminal charges with the United Nations and also the Secretary of State. Your Honor, so I appear under duress.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Just showing an appearance under duress.
Okay. This is People versus John Thomas. 26M311, 26M376. Mr. Thomas appears. I have a note from the court that he has a warrant, which I knew, and he wants to address pretrial supervision. Well, let's talk about the warrant first. I presume you want me to quash the warrant, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, sir. I think quashing the warrant is actually pretty mature, considering that the appearance bond, I never agreed to the consensual.
Well, I can remand you, and you could be in jail.
Well, no, it's not that, Your Honor. It's the fact that I'm a secure party creditor with the Secretary of State, and my policy's been tampered with. And unfortunately, right now, I filed criminal charges with the United Nations and also the Secretary of State. I think all my court cases are even under investigation at this point in time.
That's great. Okay, but this is my case, okay? And the charges in this case are violation of a civil protection order in one case and violation of a criminal protection order in the second case. My guess is that the violation in the criminal protection order case is based upon the bond appearances, the bond terms in the first case. And I'm looking right now, but I ordered you to pretrial, and if you don't want to do pretrial, that's up to you. But then I'll remand you. And
no, my mom filed a motion into the courts. I think she's got court on the 17th. She didn't realize there was a restraining order against the two of us. She's almost 80 years old, and so I take care of her and my dad both. And unfortunately, the day that the officer showed up over there, I was 2 yards down in the house. They're trying to basically rake the leaves, and of course I burned all the weeds and stuff. Well, one of the neighbors came out and kicked the fire out in the street, and they basically told me to go over to where my camper was. So I stood over there at the officer's word, and then they said that I had a mental health situation. So the ambulance showed up and did multiple tests.
Let me hold you off, Mr. Thomas. I want to reference Mr. Broughton to a case.
Okay.
Mr. Broughton, I would like you to pull up 21C, something you wouldn't normally do, 781, 21C 781. There was a motion filed on February 10th. This will be pending in Division 6 by Ms. Suarez. Is your mom, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. By Ms. Suarez to modify the civil protection order. I'm not expecting you to know this statute, but I know this statute. The restrained party, in this case, Mr. Thomas, can't move for this relief within 2 years of it being granted, but the protected party can. And she is moving to drop the protection or the civil protection order. I know as a matter of law that doesn't affect the validity of your case, assuming the protection order was in place, but it might affect the equities of it. And I refer you specifically to her motion filed February 10th. Once you've had a chance to take a look at that, I'll bring you back to this case.
I have, Judge.
Okay. So, Mr. Thomas, first of all, let's start with this. Any objection to me quashing Mr. Thomas's warrant?
If he reports to CJSD to begin pretrial services today, I do not object.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, here's what I'm inclined to do is to keep my bond terms as is and then set you as soon as I can after March 17th. And that may change the dynamics of all of this.
All right. Your Honor, is there any way to just operate under the Truth in Lending Act and just surrender my principal for you to charge, discharge, and charge back to the
Hold the
city?
microphone a little closer to you, Mr. Mayor.
I was just wondering if the courts could honor the Truth in Lending Act and just charge, discharge,
Truth
and
in
charge
Lending Act
back.
doesn't apply here.
Excuse me?
Truth in Lending Act doesn't apply in this type of case.
Okay, well, it falls under the bonds, doesn't it, the Uniform Commercial Code?
No, the Truth in Lending Act applies to creditor limitations on and disclosure. It doesn't even require creditor to do anything at all. It just requires them just to disclose. But I'm not a creditor.
But
So-
you operate with bonds, so that's for contract
Yeah.
for sale, right?
Yeah, no, this is a criminal bond, so this is a different deal. These are bond conditions. Again, here is my strong suggestion to you,
Okay.
is that we keep the bond terms as is. So I'm imposing criminal bonds. You can look at, the statute for this is under 164101. You can write that down and Google it if you want. It's Colorado Revised Statute 164101, then 102, 103, so forth. So,
But you have a JDF 73, 74, and 75, which is a bid bond, performance bond, and payment bond.
yeah, I don't know this particular JDF forms, though I certainly use JDF forms all the time. So, but I'm, at least until my inclination, I think that's my week. And it is, I could set you the next day if you wanted me to.
Okay, well,
So, but then I would impose, but then I'm going to require you between now and then to comply with my order. And then we can readdress it on the day after your hearing in front of Magistrate Horton.
I don't have a problem with the court's orders. My problem is, Your Honors, you know, I'm under a great big investigation team for some reason in Homeland Security and the generators, the X-ray units. You know, 2 nights ago, they hit me on the road out there and ran my skateboard completely over and smashed it in pieces. And no matter where I go in this community, I'm basically a target, you know, because they see me as an enforcer for the Aryan Brotherhood. I've done almost 9 years in the state of Colorado's prison system. Unfortunately, my appeals are not published. The jury's found me not guilty back in 2014, CR 540. No one's ever cleared my name. I just got out of Denver, Colorado, when Henderson basically sent me up there for mental evaluation, which they comatose me for almost 3 weeks straight under medication, and said that I was basically found incompetent to even stand trial. Came back here just to see my kids. You know, I convinced my son to join up the Academy of GJPD with the police department, which he has. And now I'm starting to see kind of an immoral act that's going on, and I don't know where it comes from, unfortunately, but we will get to the bottom of it. But my policy, when I turn my UCC platform on, for some reason it starts blowing different technologies, and I heard a couple of generators around my mom's house go up in smoke. And so I shut the policy down and tried to basically get a hold of the United Nations to figure out why my policy is being tampered with. And unfortunately, I've been attacked, me and my mom, my brothers, I think even my son. My 80-year-old stepdad has been dropped out in our front yard twice.
Well, Mr. Thomas, I'm looking, and there's no other Colorado cases pending against you. So
No.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quash your warrant, and I'm going to direct you to report within 24 hours of right now
Okay.
to pretrial. I know you don't love it, but I want you to do that.
It's just a matter of getting around. That's all.
Right? That's okay, because, and then I'm willing to set you on the day after your hearing upstairs. Okay, so you'll go to that one, and then the next day you can come talk to me about modifying your bond conditions. Mr. Broughton's position might be different or more beneficial to you based upon what happens in front of Magistrate Horton. Okay? So bond conditions are going to remain as set. As to, and I just look statewide, and I don't see any other cases with you. So bond conditions remain as set. I hereby quash the warrant in 26M311, 26M311. And then I set Mr. Thomas on the day after his hearing upstairs. Let's double check that that's correct. That's at 8:30, I don't even mind setting on the same day if you'd like. He's, oh, it's actually in front of Judge Rom, not Magistrate Harden. I'll set it on March 17th at 9:30. March 17th, 9:30. So you'll be in front of Judge Rom at 8:30 and be in front of me at 9:30. And go check in with pretrial, okay? But March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, you'll learn a lot about your cases, Mr. Thomas.
Okay,
Have a good day, sir.
thank you. Your Honor, one more thing, if you could address maybe the panel, there is some policy issues. I've been passed back and forth between massive jurisdictions. There is a conspiracy that's going on, and I'd like to know why they're using platforms to target AI technology and what frequency for mind control.
Yeah, I don't know, Mr. I don't mind. I don't know anything about that, Mr.
If you'd
Thomas.
like to study it a little further, it's Homeland Security Committee, number capitalized look_up_Toronto.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day. Okay, Mr. Thomas, let's call you up and let's move you along here. This is People versus John Thomas, 26M311, 26M376. Mr. Thomas, there is a warrant, or actually a couple of warrants for your arrest for failure to report to pretrial. We'll cover that in a second. You can have a seat. It's fine. Maybe they were resolved. You were arrested, so they're no longer pending. Have you reported to pretrial, Mr. Thomas?
So I got over there and they were closed in the evening, and then, of course, I'm walking, so I don't know how to get all the way down there with no money or nothing.
Okay,
So
we can walk from here. It's about 5 blocks from here.
I'm actually on 30 Road.
Well, right, but today you're here.
Yeah.
You can check in today.
But you had said something that when they had dropped restraining orders, all this would stop, right?
I'm sorry, when they,
We just got out of Judge Rom's courtroom and he had dropped all restraining orders.
oh, is this civil cases? He dropped all restraining orders. Yeah, it's a civil case. Let's find out. The case, Mr. McCall, I'm going to refer you to a case. 21C781. That's 21. We're not calling that case, but I went to. What happened was that the protection order that had been in effect for quite some time, since August 10th, 2021, for the permanent of August 1st, 2021. So it had been in effect for 4.5 years. Judge Miller was even on this case. Was granted by Judge Rom. So the civil protection order, which looks like the basis of each of these, is now removed. I will tell you from a straight legal standpoint, Mr. Thomas, the protection order, when it existed, and you can violate it even if it's dropped later on, right? I mean,
Well, technically, Your Honor, the probable cause of the arrest was about some type of mental illness or a fire. You know, when the officer showed up, I was raking the yard.
okay, well, hold on. So I just wanted to let you know that. Mr. McCall, I could send Mr. Thomas down to the FAC. You could talk to him. I know we have a fair number of people still here, but I will tell you later in the morning, because we don't have Mr. Fitzgerald or Ms. Lumpkins, we have a relatively light docket.
I'd actually like to.
Oh, it's yours.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm so sorry.
I'll be Mr.
I'm so
McCall.
sorry.
It's
Sorry,
perfectly
Mr.
fine,
McCall.
Judge.
Mr. Broughton, my apologies.
I'd like to make a few phone calls and then perhaps a return date for Mr. Thomas in the FAC. I'll review the case. I'll speak with who I need to.
Is 3 weeks enough, Mr. Broughton?
Yes.
Ma'am, what's your name?
Janice,
Were you the petitioner here? I will note, Mr. Broughton, the alleged victim in this case is right behind you. It may not be the only call you need to make, I'm not sure. But Mr. Thomas, I'm going to give Mr. Broughton some time to figure out what he wants to do. I'm going to sit you out in 3 weeks' time. I'll put you in the first appearance center. I'll give you your choice of a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, April 6th, 8th, or 10th at 9:30 in the morning. What is your pleasure?
Probably probably a Monday's fine.
You like the Monday? Okay.
I feel like this is just an awful lot of forced contracts for sale, Your Honor. And at this point, I know my principal is being passed around through all these different departments and all these, everybody's opting in and opting out for the interest of judicial revenue. I think my family has been under a serious amount of attacks through the years, not only through the departments, but also Homeland Security's investigation teams. And I've been run down on the streets with my skateboard. They run my skateboard completely over. I mean, they come over and vandalize our house, you know, and they're hitting us with squawk boxes, X-ray units. They got generators running, you know, and I don't know how long I have to keep going to say, you know, since 2014 CR 540, the juries have found me not guilty. The DAs have pulled affirmative defenses outside the jury's presence. And
So
this is
all
just-
we're talking about is what the people want to do on their next hearing.
The problem is the people keep passing me around as their principal when I'm not even subject matter jurisdiction.
Well, I'm going to give Mr. Broughton time to figure out what to do. The news that this protection order was dropped is hot off the presses.
Well, the problem I'm having though is when officers show up and arrest me and then force me up at St. Mary's Hospital so they can do a mental evaluation through Colorado Springs or Denver. I've been through multiple institutions, multiple facilities. I've been through Mine Springs counselors, and I've had to investigate this so much now to where I know that through the Uniform Commercial Code and on the platforms of the Secretary of State, people can be violated through AI technology and watt frequency as long as there's generated.
Mr. Thomas, I'm just going to set you, okay? I'm going to set your hearing.
It's getting old, Your Honor. And there is a position when a man has to have some kind of defense, you know, from the legal system.